Informed, outspoken, wild, fearless. This is the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast.
What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast. Today, it is waiver day. Well, it's not waiver day yet. It is waiver day. It's waiver day. Monday Night Football just ended. The Chargers just beat the Jets, and, not a super fun fantasy game by any means. Not a lot of takeaways from it. Keaton Allen did have a great catch. It was spectacular. You got to love that. But more importantly, we're not here for Monday Night Football. We're here for waivers, and I know that. And we are past the halfway point of fantasy football. And time flies, guys, when you're having fun. And hopefully you're having fun this fantasy football season. Otherwise, you won't be listening to this show. But things we learn at a young age as fantasy owners is change is necessary. And things change, and not always for the better. We have to adapt in fantasy football and move forward. For example, not fantasy related, my wife thought the bathroom needed a change, so she decided to paint it. After a long Saturday afternoon of painting, my 2-year-old walks in when the job's done and says, "Mom, I don't like the paint. I want it to be this color." She walks into the hallway, points at the wall, and the hallway's painted the color of the old bathroom. So that's just how it goes. So what am I supposed to do when my wife asks me if I like the job? I'm afraid I have to disagree with my 2-year-old because we don't negotiate with terrorists in this house, and that would be marriage suicide anyways. So also, it just occurred to me that my wife finally got a taste of what fantasy football owners go through on a weekly basis, all week long. For example, like I said, I dropped Gus Edwards 3 weeks ago, and he has been on an absolute fantasy tear the last 3 weeks. I haven't felt good about the change. But what I should have mentioned last week, and maybe I did actually, is I stashed Keaton Mitchell. Dropped Gus Edwards, stashed Keaton Mitchell. And I know this is a complete timeshare right now. We don't know, but Keaton Mitchell looks really good, guys. But things are starting to look up. And the bathroom looks excellent also, guys. So Keaton Mitchell, the bathroom, both things are on the up. Both things look good. Trust the process. Keep your eyes peeled on your waiver wire for valuable additions to see what guys drop. And, just like the improvement I've witnessed in my roster after stashing Keaton. So maybe you can, my roster's looking good. I got Keaton, and maybe it's not this week. Maybe it's a couple weeks. The guy looked really good. But we're here for waivers. And below are my favorite Week 10 waiver wire options with a roster percentage under 68% on Sleeper. Rankings are half-point PPR with the help of PFF, and all rankings were done before Monday Night Football. Teams on bye this week: Kansas City Chiefs, Miami Dolphins, LA Rams, and Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let's bounce into the waivers, guys. All righty. Coming in here on the Week 10 waivers, we have today's actually... it's late at night. I'm a little sleepy. And when I think of sleepy, I think of Sleeper, the dude's favorite place to play fantasy football. Go to Sleeper, and don't just go there. Take your whole fantasy football league over there, guys, as well. Enter promo code DUDES100. They will match you up to $100. All kinds of fun fantasy stuff. Go check that out, guys. So here we go with the quarterback ads. My number one quarterback ad of the week here this week, coming off a bounce back game, I have Geno Smith, 67% rostered. Stream of the week, has a smash spot this week versus the Commanders. It is a perfect bounce back spot for good old Geno boy, guys. So go over there, check your waiver wires. Like I said, 67% rostered. And number two, I have Sam Howell. This guy, I think, is going to be a waiver wire guy the whole entire season. He is 61% rostered as well. No, 61. Geno is 67. Sam Howell has back-to-back 300-yard passing performances. Howell is slinging it. Tougher matchup this week versus the Seahawks, a team that just got embarrassed by the Ravens on TV. But go check Sam Howell. He's getting a lot of guys involved over there. I love it, guys. And next on my list, I have Baker Mayfield, who is 49% rostered right now, guys. Go check out Baker Mayfield. Finished as QB9 on the week and takes on the middle-of-the-road Tennessee Titans. Titans this week, 2 games in a row with 2 TDs, guys. Baker Mayfield. And last on the list, maybe not a guy you're willing to play yet, but Kyler Murray is 61% rostered. Okay, guys, 61% rostered. It's not all that bad. Okay, go check it out. The guy's an athlete, and I know what you're going to say. He's a little short. You know what else is a little short, guys? Is short makes me think of our friends over at Manscaped. Promo code DUDES20, 20% off your whole entire order, guys. Head over to Manscaped. Tell them the dude sent you. Go check out that new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. With advanced dual head system and skin-safe blades, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is next-gen groomer that'll give you the power to trim, shave, and shape. Go over to Manscaped. Promo code DUDES20, 20% off your whole entire order. All right, that is all the quarterbacks we had there. And recapping the quarterbacks, we had Geno Smith, Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield, and Kyler Murray. Next, we are going into the running backs, guys. And at the running back position, first on our list, we have D'Onta Foreman, who is 59% rostered, guys, and takes on his former team, the Panthers. Cue the revenge game narrative. Foreman saw 59% of the Bears snaps and 87% of their rushes on Sunday. He has volume, and he has a decent matchup. So go check D'Onta Foreman. He should have had a touchdown this week. You see him punching the turf. He was just going crazy, straight Tyson on the turf right there. Come on, D'Onta, save those paws, man. It's not worth it. Don't punch the turf. We already got all these knee injuries, Achilles injuries. Save the paws for the game. All right, next on the list, I have Zach Charbonnet, or as Fantasy Dad likes to call him, Sharbs. Okay, 52% rostered. Sharbs had a rough game against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't pretty. No one on the Seahawks had a good game against the Ravens. But Sharbs outsnapped Kenneth Walker 27-22. For the second straight week, he has outsnapped Walker. I think good things are coming for our boy Sharbs. So go check the waiver wire for Sharbs. 52% rostered. Next on the list, this might be a little bit more of a flyer and very much, just game script. This could be the guy. Antonio Gibson, lots of Commanders on this list. Antonio Gibson is 48% rostered. And both Commanders running backs had solid fantasy performances this week. It could be a decent fill-in option, guys, if you have a guy on bye week. All right, and then last on my running back waiver wire ads, I have the guy that I already mentioned here earlier, and that is our guy, Keaton Mitchell, guys. He is 3% rostered on Sleeper, has been on the stash list for the last few weeks. Keaton has a lot of buzz, and he's had all training camp. Finally got off the IR. Note he had many fantasy points, but they were all in garbage time. Likely remains behind Justice Hill and Gus Edwards, but he shouldn't be left on your waiver wire. Ravens have a tough matchup this week against the Browns. I have 2 running back stashes on my list still, but if you want those, you're going to have to go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. Get all the waiver wire ads there. I have 13 ads on this show here. I got a lot more waiver wire ads and stashes and all that good stuff. So go to the website, like I said, www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com for all the waiver wire ads. It's just a quick little email, guys. Every Tuesday morning, you're going to love it. Okay. Wide receivers, and this is kind of what takes your team up to the next level. But you know what else takes your league up to the next level? And that's Trophy Smack, the dude's favorite place for all our fantasy football trophies, guys. Head over to Trophy Smack. Tell them the dude sent you. So go www.trophysmack.com/dudes for all your fantasy football needs to take your party to the next level. You can get pictures made, put a picture of the last place loser on your wall, get a customized trophy, customized belt, all that good stuff only at Trophy Smack, the only place to get your fantasy football trophies, guys. So throwing it over to our wide receivers, and this doesn't even make sense to me. Like, what are people doing? What are we doing? It's kind of like what I thought, this past weekend, I'm playing Fortnite with my old squad. And it's like, what have I been doing? This game's amazing. This game's magical. It's perfect. It's bliss. It's poetry on a screen. But then I remembered, they changed the seasons up. They changed the map up. They changed the battle bus. All that good stuff they changed. And then I thought, maybe it's not. Maybe they're the ones that are crazy. Just like there's guys in your league who are crazy who drop Tank Dell. Just like there's guys out on Fortnite that don't know the original maps better than the map they have now. I don't know why Tank Dell is only 60% rostered. It doesn't make sense. Go add this guy. This is my favorite waiver wire ad of the week. I'm pounding the table, and I'm sorry the microphone's picking that up. But Tank Dell put on an absolute show this past week, and it can't be denied. Maybe they dropped him because of the bye week. Number one priority of the week, CJ Stroud went absolutely nuclear this past week. Dell had 11 targets, 6 receptions, and caught the game-winning TD. Add. Next on my list, throwing it to the other side of the field, it's not Nico Collins, but it's the other guy that we got over there in Houston, Noah Brown. And this one feels weird too. Like, this doesn't feel as weird as Tank Dell, and it doesn't feel as weird as why Fortnite changed their whole map. And I'm sorry, I'm going on a total, video game rampage right now, but it's just that I might go touch on Fortnite again on next week's episode. Noah Brown is 4% rostered, and Tank Dell went nuclear, but Noah Brown led the team in receiving yards. He's a deep flyer maybe, but as long as Robert Woods is out, the Texans are playing the Bengals this week, which will require all hands on deck. 2 of the hottest QBs in the league playing this week. This matchup is sneaky good, and no one saw this, 5 weeks ago. Maybe no one saw this 4 weeks ago. I'm excited for the Texans and the Bengals, and you might be able to play Noah Brown in this matchup. I don't want to bet against CJ Stroud right now. Next on my list, though, throwing it again, this guy's been on the list for a long time. Jahan Dotson, 68% rostered. Dotson's season is back, baby. We talked about him all draft season. He's here, and I'm hoping he's here to stay. Way too many Commanders on this list. Makes me a little bit nervous, but Jahan Dotson, 2 straight games with touchdowns. Hal is feeding him. He should not be on your waiver wire. Go add Jahan Dotson, guys. All right. I've done quarterbacks. I've done running backs, wide receivers, recapping the running backs. I had Deonta Foreman, Zach Charbonnet, Antonio Gibson, and Keaton Mitchell. Wide receivers, Tank Dell, Jahan Dotson, Noah Brown. Sorry, I forgot to recap the running backs. I just, got mesmerized about all the, feel-good story of Fortnite and all the nostalgia and all that good stuff. So what do we got here next with the tight ends, guys? We have, let me find my notes here. Tight end is Bear. But just like I said, there's another guy that shouldn't be on your waiver wire roster. Taysom Hill, guys. The guy's balling out. He's 58% rostered. And if you're watching on YouTube, he's holding a football in a passing motion because the guy actually throws passes sometimes. So Taysom Hill, don't leave this guy on your bench. Tight end 6 on the season. He is most likely on your waiver wire. Add him. Ultimate football player has not 1, not 2, but 3 straight games of at least 14 plus fantasy points. My number 2 waiver wire priority of the week. Next on the list, this one's a little uglier. Doesn't make me feel great, but I can't just keep giving the same guys. Ferguson finally went off. I've been screaming his name the last couple of weeks, and if you missed him, you missed him. But next on the list, maybe this isn't Ferguson good. This isn't, Luke Musgrave. I've said that forever. He's not in as good of a situation, and you might even want to look for Luke Musgrave. But I don't have Luke Musgrave. I have Cade Otton, okay? And he is 10% rostered. He had a huge game versus the Texans, caught 6 and 9 targets, and also had not 1, but 2 touchdown passes. All right, last on the list here, guys. And this one hurts. This one doesn't feel good. I actually hate this one. Makes me mad. It breaks my heart. This was supposed to be the year, guys. This was Kyle Pitts' season. We all said that. But the longest TD in the Falcons for the Falcons this year belongs to Jonnu Smith. This is the tight end that made me think that Arthur Smith knew how to use tight ends. And apparently he just doesn't know how to use Kyle Pitts. But we need to figure this out, Arthur. So Jonnu Smith, 32% rostered. And it's amazing. The guy that, his dad absolutely, mastered delivering packages by ground, by air. That should be an offensive coordinator, recipe for success. It's like, hey, my dad knows how to deliver packages. Oh, this guy has the worst offensive packages. I don't know what he's doing, but you would think all that FedEx experience, he'd be decent at it. But yeah, Jonnu Smith. Great matchup this week versus the Cardinals. And Arthur Smith clearly likes Jonnu more than he likes Pitts. It's worth a flyer this week. I'm hoping Heineke gets Pitts more involved. But until then, tight end is bleak, guys. You might have to throw in Jonnu Smith. And I can't believe I'm still saying that. Remember how good Jonnu was for the Tennessee Titans? He's showing flashes of that again. So this has been a fun episode. Sorry I get a little passionate. But hey, when you bring up Fortnite and I start remembering all my homies in my squad, I get a little fired up. Sorry, not sorry. But hey, that's all I got here today, guys. Don't forget to check us out on Thursday. We will be previewing all the Week 10 matchups. You won't want to miss that. And I always enjoy coming here talking to you guys. If you like this, leave a comment in the comments here on YouTube. Who'd I miss? Who am I too high on? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Maybe you don't like the Fortnite take. Maybe I have too much passion tonight. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the time change, and I'm a little more. It's 9:30, but I'm usually 10:30. Maybe I'm a little crabby. I don't know. Maybe it's I'm talking too much, guys. I'm so sorry. But anyways, guys, I always enjoy it. And as always, see you Thursday and take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.